Shall I start, sir?
Yes.
Yes, let me share my screen first. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me open my tab from the classroom. Yes, sir, I am sharing my screen. Yes. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes.
Okay. It is opening because of slow network. Maybe it will. Yes. Yes. Is my screen visible properly?
Yes, now it is visible.
Okay, sir. So, good afternoon, everyone. Today we have a presentation of contemporary literature. I would like to start with the quotation that would you rather love the more and suffer? Would you rather love the more and suffer the more, or love the less and suffer the less? That is, I think, the real question. So this quote is from the Only Story by Julian Barnes, and Only Story is considered as the contemporary literature. The novel is begin with the very favorite or most famous quotation like most of us have only one story to tell. I don't mean that only one things happen to us in our lives. There are countless events which we turn into countless stories. But there is only one that matters. Only one finally worth telling, and this is mine. The novel Only Story is written by Julian Barnes, and Julian Barnes is considered as a postmodernist novelist. He is also famous for his essays and short stories, and most of his novels are based on the memory because he wrote about the memory novels, and in that he also mentioned the unreliable narrator as a protagonist. Then the only story. So this story, the only story is the novel, 13th novel of Julian Barnes, and this novel is a memory novel, and it was published in 2018. This novel is divided into three parts, and all the three parts are narrated by Paul Roberts. So, in this presentation, I am going to present about the significance of crossword in the novel Only Story. Before going to that, let us take you to the benefits of crossword puzzles. We all have heard the name of crossword games, and many times we are playing that. So, in Julian Barnes also used the game of crossword puzzle in this novel. So, what are the benefits of crossword puzzle? They can strengthen social bonds. Completing a crossword puzzle on your own is impressive, but you should never feel bad if you need to ask for the help. By playing this game, we can improve our vocabulary. We can increase our knowledge based on, or we can free from the stress by playing this game. We can boost our moods. So all these are the benefits of this novel. But in this novel, Julian Barnes is trying to prove the other things through the crossword puzzles. According to Saxena has done research on the crossword puzzle as an active learning in undergraduate pathology and medical education. And in that research, he says that puzzle can be used as a means of enhancing general and scientific information and a facilitative role of problem solving skills. What are the benefits of crossword in education? We find many in every field of education that gaming is playing very important role. So Gemina, in his use of crossword puzzle as an educational tool, is his research, and in that he says that utilizing the crossword puzzle as an enjoyable and participatory teaching tool. A complete by lecture could improve management quality in speech therapy sessions. Like that, many other researchers has given their view on crossword puzzle as a positively to the education field. Jung and many other researchers examine that crossword game is like increased learning motivation, and it improves students' satisfaction in the classroom, and it also and this such as computer-based learning. And Serena and Kumar, the both are researcher of use of crossword puzzle as a teaching aid to facilitate active learning in dental materials. So in that research, they have observed that use of crossword puzzle as a teaching tool in dental materials can relieve the tedium of lecture and traditional teaching methods, thereby providing a more relaxed and friendly classroom atmospheres. So this will facilitate the active learning and make the learning experience of students more productive. Wordle, as sir has mentioned at the beginning of the presentation while discussing the topic of every student, that Wordle is become very trending nowadays on Twitter and other social media platforms. While discussing this novel, studying this novel in the classroom, sir many times shared the link of Wordle and give the hint to us to play the game and share on Twitter. So Wordle is all about viral game. Twitter is going bonkers over. So what is Wordle? As McMahon examined this, millions of people around the world are enjoying the simple yet frustrating daily word puzzle game. Wordle, created by US-based software engineer Joshua Wardle, is a way to pass time during the pandemic. So this is how the Wordle game is come into existence, and we can compare the contemporary Wordle game to the traditional crossword games. And Twitter is as I said, that Twitter is a new trend nowadays. And in past few times, you have heard that phrase. This time around, it is puzzle game that people are losing their minds. And the game is called Wordle. We can see that lot of people on Twitter sharing mosaics made up of green, yellow, and gray color boxes. As I have mentioned here, Bharat sir's tweet, and I have also tried to play Wordle game shared by sir, and my tweet is also here. I have mentioned the screenshot of that tweet. By clicking. So in this novel, what is the significance of crossword represented by Julian Barnes? So Julian Barnes trying to observe this game in a new way. The postmodernist novelist Julian Barnes is interested this traditional meaning that is discussed earlier in the benefits of these crosswords. What is the symbolism? So it is said that a literary symbol is an object or a person or a situation, an action that has a literal meaning in a story, but struggle or represents other meanings. So in this novel, Barnes has captured the nuances of social life lived in 20th century England by the Paul Roberts and Susan MacLeod and John and all. The crosswords were something so significant aspect of this traditional British activity that several characters of this novel are founded meaningful, engaged with it. What are the hidden aspects of this British pastime activities? So in this novel, Paul Robert, the narrator of the story, explained the hidden aspect of the British past activities. And he mentioned that everyone in the village where he is living, every grown up or rather every middle-aged person seemed to do crossword. Whether it is his parent, whether it's my parents, their friends, John, Gordon MacLeod, everyone apart from Susan. So here the question might become that why Susan is not playing crosswords. They did either the Times of the Telegraph, though John had those books of hers to fall back on while waiting for the next newspaper. I regarded this traditional British activity with some snootiness. I was keen in those days to find happen motives, perfectably involving hypocrisies behind the obvious ones. This supposedly harmless pastime was about more than solving cryptic clue and finding in all the answers. So, John's habit of cheating the crossword. This is the main aspect of the significance of the crossword in this novel. So, apart from this interpretation of the crossword puzzle, it is quite often rescued in the novel that it is referred with John's habit of cheating the crossword. Paul Robert has observed many times John that she is doing cheating while playing crossword with the Paul, and he is quite surprised at this time, surprised with the habit of John that why she is doing that. And once he directly asked to the John, and as the response of Paul's question, John said, Paul asked that why do you cheat at crossword? And John loudly said that, you cheeky bugger, I suppose Susan told you, well, it is a fake question. I won, I can answer. She took another pull of her gin. You see, I hope you never get there yourself. But some of us get to the point in life where we realize that nothing matters. Nothing fucking matters. And one of the few side benefits of that is you know you are not going to go to hell for filling in the wrong answers in the crosswords. Because you have been to hell and back already, and you know all too well what it is like. But the answer are in the back of the book. Oh, but you see, to me, that would be cheating. So this answer is given by John. John said that the cheating in the crossword game is not actually cheating in a real life, because John is very alone in this, depicted as very alone in this novel, and by playing this puzzle game, she is trying to solve the problem of her life all alone. John's habit of cheating at a crossword. So, what is the symbolic significance of John in this novel? So, in this character study of John, we realize that how symbolically important is the representation of crossword in this novel. If we talk about the character of John as counter part of the character of Susan, then we come to know that Susan has a love object as a MacLeod and Paul both are a love object for Susan. So she hasn't any need to play the crossword game. But if we talk about the John, then she hasn't no one in his life, and she is all alone. So she is trying to solve her problem by playing the crossword puzzle, and she continuously being busy with that game. Her repressed desire in looking for humans to be her love object. This is for Susan. John's habit of cheating as crossword. And hence all this interference drawn by Paul seems to be true for the John, as mentioned in this novel, that the desire to reduce the chaos of universe to a small, comprehensible grid of black and white squares, the underlying belief that everything in life could, in the end, be solved. So it is the belief. And the confirmation that existence was essentially a ludic activity, and the hope that this activity would keep at bay the existential pain of our brief sublunary transit from birth to death. Apart from John, there is another character that is also playing the crossword game, that is Gordon MacLeod. And in this novel, on the two occasions, he is playing that game, and he is found solving the crossword with Paul Roberts. So the answer to the puzzle are Taunton. The name that word is the name of the town, and the meaning of that word is continue mocking on it. And trefoil, arbiter in the middle of toil work. If we read this word in context of the relationship between Paul and Gordon, then we come to know that we find some symbolic significance in it. And Taunton, making mockery of something, is represented here for the Paul, Susan, and Gordon. Both these words in the crossword puzzle seems to signify a taunt on Paul's middling in between Susan and Gordon's not happy married life, because as we know that Paul is a 19-year-old while Susan is 48 years old, and Susan is already married. But then, though Paul is in with love with Susan. To conclude, we can say that the reference of crossword in this novel is spread across the novel. It is referred critically as a British pastime activity, but actually it is not. It also makes the snootiest critique of the habit. Apart from these all socio-cultural references, and the crossword puzzle has symbolic significance to the study of character of John as a counterfoil to the Susan. That why John has a need to play the need to cheat the crossword game. And it is also useful to study the strangular relationship between Paul Roberts, Susans, and Gordon MacLeod. And these are my references. I don't know, sir. I have to cite Julian Barnes' website or not. You had told earlier that I have cited here.
What source is taken from that?
I have taken the basic information of Julian Barnes about Bone and his literary movement and journal.
The biography.
Yes, biography.
The website writers, if you can find, then that can be cited, or the writer himself will be cited for that. If they are not mentioning any other things. So here you have on this website, there is a webmaster, Ryan Roberts. So that can be cited when you get the name of somebody who is writing the website. Not the writer, but it's for marketing. So writer may not be writing, but publisher might be hiring the people to write. So at least here you have this person, Ryan Roberts, which can be cited.
Shall I stop sharing my screen?
Yes. And questions?
Yes, Daya. My question is that can you define briefly the crossword of this novel and today's trendy game Wordle in your side? I mean, in your words, can you define this connection between two?
Connection between Wordle and crossword game. Okay, these both are like the same. In the traditional time, crossword is played as a black and white. If you have idea that, and in Wordle, in Julian Barnes use crossword game for John to describe that she is solving her problem by her own, and she is all alone in life, and she is busy with that. And nowadays, Wordle is played by most of us. We all from our class, we all are, I think, playing that game. And by playing that, we can increase our vocabulary and our problem solving skill and all. So we can connect with that.
Okay, there. You have put a Twitter tweet in your PPT. So, what is the meaning of that three colors, yellow, gray, and green? So, and do you know how the game come into existence?
Yes. Thank God I have played that game. Then I come to know about that three colors: green, yellow, and gray. First of all, I will talk about why this game is existence. As I have mentioned earlier, that in Corona time, that name I have mentioned in the PPT, that US-based software engineer Joshua Wardle has in a leisure time found that in the pandemic leisure time he found that, this game and share on the social media. So that how this game came into existence. And that color green color, I think, is used for the correct letters when we played the game. When we got the correct letter, then the green symbol is there. Then yellow color is for correct wrong position. Letter is correct, but the position is, if the position is wrong, then the yellow color is used, and while gray color is used for wrong letter. Yes, sir. Is it gray color is used for wrong letter in Wordle, or if I am not
That
wrong?
is not something very important. People will keep on changing colors. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
In mobile, if you know, various people can change the colors. If you, color is something which is not like symbolically very deeply connected with anything. We all know that you can use any of the app in variety of colors. So that as such doesn't stand for anything. Color has no such meaning at all. It's just to differentiate between three things.
Three.
Only there is there. That color may change also.
Yeah. Okay.